Good morning, Twin Saults, Algoma, and Chippewa. We are here Monday morning, September the 21st, for a special report brought to you by KC Securities. I'm Chris Holtgorn.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel LaPrade here. Yes, we had another busy weekend.
Yes, very interesting weekend, particularly around COVID-19 and some drastic changes happening across the province that we will get to very shortly. But Doug Ford will be doing another announcement today. Hopefully won't involve more restrictions.
Well, I see he's got the same people as Saturday, so...
Yeah, it could be interesting.
Here we go.
So anyways, Doug Ford, we'll have it live at 1 p.m. here on Special Report. He'll be joined again by Christine Elliott, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, as well as Dr. Barbara Yaffe, who's the Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health. Come back here for 1 p.m. today when we will carry that announcement, obviously with both the Minister of Health and the Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health. This is probably going to be something health-related. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're going to be putting in more restrictions possibly on long-term care homes or retirement homes. I know that my Nana's home, which isn't in Algoma District, it's in Simcoe Muskoka District, but they've changed it where you can't go in at all anymore. You can take them out. The interesting thing is you can, like my parents can go and take my Nana out,
but you can't.
But they can't go in and see her.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can take her out into the public.
Yes.
Probably where she has a higher chance of actually catching something because she's mixing in the public and take her back.
Rather
but my
than
parents can't go in.
Going in. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure exactly the law.
Is that a home policy itself?
That's the home policy itself, for that. It's a retirement home, not a long-term care home, so it's regulated a little bit differently.
Right.
So this might have something to do with long-term care homes and group homes, or it could be something completely different. We don't really know because nothing about this today has been leaked. So Saturday we kind of had a hint because there was people hinting that it was going to be a province-wide after they did the Toronto, Peel, Ottawa part of the restrictions, that they were going to do it province-wide. But today there's no hints of anything that we know of so far. So
you never know what he's going to pull out of his back pocket.
Yeah,
he might want to start with transparency.
I was a little surprised with the reduction for the entire province.
Me too, because again, this comes back on the we're going to do it regionally to blanket the whole province. So now, if you do something again for Toronto, let's say you put them back down to stage 2, are you going to blanket the whole province again? You can't be trusted.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, like, we had a case came out on Friday. But it was already resolved when we found out. I'm not sure. Where
the heck is APH?
I'm not sure how this works, but this is technically how it really works. You get tested because you have symptoms, or you're a healthcare worker, or you're in a long-term care home. You're tested every 2 weeks, things like that.
Right.
That test comes back positive. Then, after that, you get tested again after your symptoms have disappeared.
Right.
24 hours after that, you're tested again. And if you have 2 negative tests, then you're considered resolved.
Right.
So at a bare minimum, it takes about 5 days to go from being diagnosed and getting a positive case, that you're positive as a case of COVID-19, to the point where you can be negative.
Right.
And we didn't find out until this person was already resolved, meaning they had tested negative again. Yeah. And the press release, I won't even put it up on the screen, but the press release we received from Algoma Public Health, it was not a PDF or a Word doc. It was a text email that was not formatted in any way, shape, or form. And I did not even put it up because it would have been embarrassing for us to put up on our website. And it's a media release, so I can't change it.
That's right.
Without rewriting it. And since it was resolved, I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, if this is how Algoma Public Health wants to do it, they can tell people on their Facebook and...
Tell them after the fact.
They tell them after it's been resolved. That's the first thing. And then the absolute horrible, worst press release I've ever seen in the history of mankind on a pandemic that is very serious. We're not talking about, please tell your kids to wash their hands when they go to the bathroom at school. We're talking about a global pandemic. The last time we had one was 1918, and they can't even give me a document that I could even and I mean remotely,
and I'm
cut
assuming
and paste.
This went to all media outlets, I'm assuming, as well.
It did.
So They
Yeah.
sent this to all the media outlets.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even who's writing their media releases?
Well, I did a whole show on that individual and why they should be
Oh,
fired.
yeah.
You can go back and watch that.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
actually have
I mean,
a
I
part
do
2,
already know
part
the
3,
answer.
part 4 on that one already.
Yeah, well, whoever it is,
I
we
won't
know
name
who
his
it
name
is.
on the air, but I already did a show about it and did name his name. Anyways,
Moving
moving along. So, the restrictions. This is how it works. We used to be allowed to have 50 people indoors as long as you were socially distanced. Outdoors, it was 100. Okay, so now the one that was 50 has been dropped down to 10. So, and that's socially distanced indoors. And the one that was 100, which was the outdoor one, has been dropped down to 25. Now, here's an interesting thing that they also want you to understand. You can't have an event with 10 people indoors and then 25 people in your backyard.
Yeah.
That would be 35 people, and that is not permitted. So you have to choose one or the other, and in their actual order, it says or, it doesn't say and. And
That's right.
they actually then, further down the press release, literally said, you can't have 35 with 10 indoors, 25 in your backyard. So it's either you have to choose. Do you want 25 people in your backyard, or do you want 10 people in your house, and everybody still has to social distance, unless they're in your social circle. So in other words, like family members don't have to socially distance indoors, but each member of the family counts as one of the 10. So you can't have 10 people over plus your family of 4. That would be 14, wouldn't count. So you could only have, if you're 2 adults, 2 kids, you can have 6 people in total inside your house, socially distanced from the other members of your family. However, these new limits don't apply to staffed businesses.
That's
so
right.
for example, if you're a bar, restaurant, cinema, convention center, banquet hall, gym, places of worship like a church or a mosque, synagogue, recreational, sporting, and performing arts events. However, the existing rules with regards to both the provincial rules and the rules set out by your local public health unit, so in our case, Algoma Public Health, still apply to all of those staffed public areas. Also, Doug Ford said, if you break this, there's going to be the largest fine in Canada. They are in the process of doing this, but the fine at a minimum, if you organize an event that is bigger than either the 10 or the 25, will be a minimum of $10,000 fine. And it will go up from there depending on how big of the, they're calling them recreational get-togethers, you have at your actual event. Also, the police officers, special constables, and First Nations constables will be able to close any premise that is violating the local public health rules, the new indoor-outdoor social gathering rules, or if a bar has way too many people in it, they can just shut the bar down. And they're allowed to have everyone inside has to vacate the premises immediately. So no finishing your drink, no going to the bathroom. They will just remove you from the building. So
sorry that we have to bring you this lovely news. On
welcome to Monday morning.
Just
Cheers.
get used to the fact that you're never going to be able to do anything ever again, and you have to hide.
Pretty much. And if
I don't know how else we can say it. In
until
layman's
there's a
terms.
vaccine, who knows what's going to happen. I mean, you see Britain locking down again tomorrow as well. But if you think you have COVID-19, you think you've been exposed to someone with COVID-19, do not go to the emergency room. The hospital actually reached out to us over the weekend. This is also up on our site.
People are going there.
People are going to the emergency room thinking that if they get a COVID-19 test in the emergency room, it's any faster than the assessment center. It is not.
Right.
The only rapid testing that the hospital does is for patients who are inpatients already in the hospital, and they need to do a rapid test to find out if how fast they need to isolate someone. Because as soon as they do the test, they have to isolate them, they want that test back as fast as possible.
Yeah.
That's the only rapid testing that exists. You have to be an inpatient at the hospital. If you go to the emergency room, you get the same test that you get at the assessment center. So
don't crowd the emergency room.
Do not crowd the emergency room.
Leave it for real emergencies.
Yes. Now, the assessment center has increased capacity in terms of how open they are. Now they're open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. You have to call ahead and book an appointment. The number is 705-759-3434, extension 7152. That's 705-759-3434, 7152. There, and also now the assessment center is also testing everyone over the age of 2. So you can get a test for the following reasons. You do not have symptoms, but you are concerned that you may have been exposed to COVID-19. you do not have symptoms but are at risk of exposure to COVID-19, have any symptoms consistent with COVID-19, even mild ones, and if you call 911, telehealth, Algoma Public Health, or your primary care provider and they say you should go get a test, you can also go get a test. But you have to call that number to get the test. You can't just show up, and please, please, please don't go to the emergency room. It's very rare that Seward Hospital reaches out to me on a weekend to get this type of info out. So please use the extended hours at the assessment center.
Absolutely.
All right, what's going on with
a whole segment on COVID-19. My goodness.
Yeah, we didn't even finish.
We didn't even get to
the numbers.
local news.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll get to the weather tease quickly. It is going to be a mix of sun and clouds today. Your sunrise was at 7:23 Eastern. We're going to take a look at our camera now, which is sponsored by wirelesscom.ca. Your sun will set tonight at 7:37 p.m. Those days are getting shorter. Autumn arrives tomorrow. We are looking at the pavilion there, and we are going to see a mix of sun and cloud. I'll have the regional temperatures, 3-day forecasts, and all that coming up. Northern Lights Detailing is our sponsor for the weather, so we thank them as always. And we will be right back after this short break.
A message from the Government of Canada.
It's been a while since I've seen Joe. We were a couple of pranksters, and Joe was always full of surprises. But today, he's the one in for a surprise.
The thing is, Joe doesn't live here anymore. For people living with dementia, getting lost can happen unexpectedly. Are you ready to help? Help people living with dementia live safely in our communities. Contact your local Alzheimer's Society and visit findingyourwayontario.ca.
Canada United is a movement to show local businesses some love. Right now, they could use our support more than ever. So we're asking Canadians to buy local and spread the word. And every time you watch our videos or like our posts, we'll contribute 5 cents to small business relief, starting with this video. So keep watching and tell your friends, because buying local can make a big impact. And small actions can too. Canada United. Together we can make a difference.
It's easier to say nothing and blend in. But I need to speak up for what I know is right. I have a voice. I can lead the way. I will be a light in my community.
And good morning and welcome back to Special Report on this Monday. And we want to say a good morning. We got a couple Facebook shout outs. I know Chris will do them later on as well once we have some more people. But good morning to Joe and good morning to Tammy that are watching right now on Facebook. And if you do have a Facebook shout out, a birthday, a wedding anniversary, anything you want to mention, please leave it in the comments and we will speak about it. All right, so hope everybody enjoyed the weekend. We broke a record the other night on the temperatures when we had the frost overnight, and it was a little bit chilly on Friday night, so we did break a record that night according to Environment Canada. However, we are trending back up the way we want to go for this time of year, considering we are almost near October. So as you can see here, we do have high pressure that is kind of over top of us here. There is a little low pressure system in the front this way. Now we are going to see some weather move in maybe later on in the week where we will see some showers, but right now we got nothing to worry about here. You're going to see today it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud and a nice comfortable day, which is above seasonal for this time of year. In fact, our normals are 15 degrees for your high and your low is 5 degrees. So we will be well above that. And in fact, most of our region is going to enjoy some nice temperatures today. Look at Thunder Bay, you're at 22 degrees, 18 in Wawa, 19 in Timmins, 20 here in Sault Ste. Marie, and 17's in Elliott Lake and Sudbury. So do get out and enjoy what you can. And we're not dipping down that much overnight. 14 degrees in Thunder Bay as well as in Wawa, 10 in Timmins, 13 here in Sault Ste. Marie. Only place single digits will be Elliott Lake at 9 degrees and then 10 degrees in Sudbury. So very comfortable night above seasonal. You won't need to bundle up too much. Currently we are sitting at 12. We are going to get up to a high of 20 today. It's going to feel like 21. We're going to have winds from the south, and in fact I'm not sure why it's 2. It was supposed to be 22, so I missed the extra 2. Sorry about that. And they're going to gust though between 40 to 45k as well, and we will see a UV index of 5 or moderate, so we still do have that UV factor. And you're going to see a low of 13 overnight, and there's a 30% chance of a shower and a risk of a thunderstorm overnight. Now you didn't see that on the radar because it may move through, it may miss us. We will have to wait and see how that goes. All right, Tuesday, we're looking at a high of 22 degrees. Again, this is the week. If you want to still get to the beach or try to enjoy something, do it this week because it's probably going to be the last hurrah before we get to October and things really start to dip. So enjoy that on Tuesday. Mix of sun and cloud once again. 12 degrees is your low. Wednesday, we're looking at the same thing, 20 degrees, mix of sun and cloud. Things start to change a little bit overnight on Wednesday. We'll see a low of 12, but there'll be a cloudy, 60% chance of showers rather, and cloudy overnight. Then Thursday, we have a mix of sun and cloud, and as you can see, I've got the shower icon up there as well because we have a 30% chance of a shower, so may not happen. We'll see how that goes. It may change, and it's going to be 11 degrees overnight on Thursday. So, and going into the weekend, we are going to still be in the high teens, low 20s. Things will change a little bit. We'll see some showers, most likely, and some rain. However, we are enjoying a nice warm week above seasonal. And I want to remind everybody, if you saw it on SiouxOnline.com, or I've talked about it before, one of our news directors, Craig, had predicted this on the 3rd week of September that we would get some warm weather. So there you go. Craig is on the ball once again. This is why I listen to Craig, because he's been doing it a long time and he knows. So enjoy that weather. Excuse me, it's Monday morning. Enjoy the weather, and we will be back after this break with more local news. So stay tuned for Special Report. We'll be right back.
Even though we can't always meet in person, we can still listen.
Even though schools are closed, help is still available in your community.
Even though you may be worried, services and supports are still here.
In stressful times like these, families need mental health supports more than ever.
We are here to make sure you can stay connected to your community and culture.
Nous savons qu'il peut être difficile de rester à la maison, mais vous n'êtes pas seul.
And we know asking for help for yourself and others can be hard.
But there are people in your community who are ready to support you.
No matter your age, gender, sexual identity, race, or culture.
No matter the day, time, or issue.
We're here to help.
And welcome back to Special Report for Monday, September 21st. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you to KC Securities for your sponsorship and Northern Lights Detailing for sponsoring the weather, and also Wireless.com for giving us those wonderful pictures we see every single morning from downtown Sault Ste. Marie. Speaking of downtown, there's fire.
Yes, Weather Daniel was playing reporter on Friday night. Sioux Fire responded shortly after 1 a.m. to a small fire at the Days Inn Hotel on Bay Street in the city's downtown. The fire was contained to an area with the assistance of the fire department and the building's sprinkler system, which had most of it under control before the fire department got there. It's unknown the amount of damage at this time. There were several individuals that evacuated the building. Sioux Online on TV will update the story if more information becomes available, and you stay with On TV for all your breaking news updates. Okay, moving on. We got Algoma Highlands Conservancy seeking qualified individuals to fill board vacancies. So they are accepting applications from keen, qualified candidates with expertise in environmental education, legal perspectives, fundraising, and or ecological research, along with a strong interest in conservation. The AHC Board of Directors is a group of determined individuals with diverse backgrounds whose mission is to conserve the unique beauty and ecological integrity of Robertson Cliffs, King Mountain, and surrounding area. They are dedicated to pursuing the 4 core values of AHC: conservation, environmental education, ecological research, and silent sport recreation. So if those values align with you and you have experience or you would like to apply, we encourage you to visit their website at algomahighlandsconservancy.org for more information on the organization, or you can email them as well to submit your application. So there we go. And before I pass over to Chris, we're moving along. We got to get through this news quick. Métis Nation of Ontario Region 4 commemorates Paoli Day. So Region 4, consisting of the historic Sault Ste. Marie and North Channel Métis Community Councils, along with our citizens, will pause this weekend to commemorate the 17th anniversary of our landmark victory in the Paoli decision and to pay tribute to the man who led our community in this hunt for justice. 144 years after his ancestors stood up for Métis rights during the Mika Bay resistance, a humble Métis man, Steve Paoli, and his son Roddy shot a bull, moose, and tagged it with his Métis card and a note that read, "Harvesting my meat for winter." So this simple act of compassionate defiance led to an epic battle in the courts, with Steve Paoli leading the way to the entire Métis Nation from Ontario to British Columbia rallying around him. So that's coming up. We will have more news coming up after this break, so make sure you stay tuned.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
It's easier to say nothing and blend in. But I need to speak up for what I know is right. I have a voice. I can lead the way. I will be a light in my community.
And welcome back to Special Report 826 on your Monday morning. We're going to get right into your 7-day weather forecast. Moving along here, you're going to see some sun and clouds for the next 2 days with highs of 22 and 20 degrees. Then we're going to see a chance of a shower on Thursday. Temperatures will continue to stay up there through the weekend with getting back down to 15 though by Monday with a mix of sun and cloud. Our overnight lows though are staying in double digits. 12 degrees up to 13 by Saturday and back down to 11 on Monday. So not too bad of a week for this time of year. And we're going to take a look at our Weather Watcher photo, which is of Crystal Falls at Hiawatha Highlands. This was when it was those falls were really roaring there. And if you want to send in your photos, ontvweather@gmail.com. Include your name and location. This one is from Nathan, and beautiful shot there.
Yes. Thank you very much for that Weather Watcher photo. It was a big night last night at the Emmys for some Canadians. Schitt's Creek, which just finished its 6th and final season. They won a bunch of different awards.
They did.
They won the comedy series. They also won leading roles for both Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, both Canadian actors. His son, Daniel Levy, won as a supporting actor. Daniel Levy also won as a writing award. And then the director was Daniel Levy and Andrew Cividano for the show. They also won for that. Plus, earlier in the week, I'll call them the less important Emmys, they won 2 there as well for costuming and casting. So they cleaned up.
When you say the name too, I always get a kick.
They were actually nominated in 15 categories and won 7. Last year they were nominated for 4 and won nothing. So, but this year obviously they were cleaning up, and it was their final year for that show as well. For those of you in Canada, you know that was on Canadian TV, CBC, where it started from, and then also went to America and other countries as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, great job there. Okay, getting to some quick sports. Detroit Lions starting the season with not a win. So 2 weeks in a row they have lost. They are 0-2. They lost to the Green Bay Packers 42-21 yesterday in the NFL. And then also Major League Baseball, the Cleveland Indians beat the Detroit Tigers 7-4. Tigers are 22-30 on the season. Pretty much no chance of them making the playoffs.
Poor Detroit
since they're playing 60 games and they're already at 30 losses. So they're definitely going to be below 500 for the season.
Yeah.
And if the Lions don't start turning things around, they're probably going to be under 500 for the season as well.
That's the typical, Detroit thing right now. They're all struggling,
Well, the thing, the Lions almost won their first game. If they wouldn't have messed up in like the last 2.5 minutes, they would have won their first game. But instead, they blew it.
And stay with Sioux Online, your source for Sioux sports.
Yes, and we will be back at 1 o'clock for Doug Ford's press conference. Today it will be with Christine Elliott, who's the Deputy Premier Minister of Health, as well as with Dr. Barbara Yaffe, who's the Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health. Just quickly before we end the show, we did have 365 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, 1 new death. On Saturday, we had 407 new cases of COVID-19 and 401 on Friday. Almost 70% of the cases were in people under the age of 40. So come back here at 1 o'clock for Doug Ford's press conference. We will see you then. Have a fantastic morning.
Take care, everyone.